Welcome to another episode of Health and Wellbeing. Still working on the mental health aspects right now. I think as we get a little further along, we'll start to include some other things. But I wanted to touch base with a couple more of these ideas that worked in tandem with the previous two. And so I'm calling this one Stop Picking on Me. And so what we've done previously is sort of keeping a tally of when you have negative feelings, just so that you know that they're instances of negativity, not the entirety of the day. And then you kind of started to keep tabs on what you were doing and when they happened, to kind of get a sense for what may be causing them, and then be able to focus more on being able to deal with one at a time. So work around some of the others while you focus on getting through this one. And once you've gotten that one in a manageable state, you then start pulling another one forward and working on that one until they're all ways that you can manage those problems in your life so that they don't become so disruptive and destructive to your mental state. And now, the next one on this list is Stop Picking on Me. And what this is it's something I did when I was younger. It was really just a stark awareness for me where I can't stand to see somebody bully somebody else. And so I had that moment of awareness at one point where I imagined the things I say about and to myself as if somebody was saying it to somebody I cared about, or maybe a celebrity. If you want to go that route, just like if somebody really said the things that you say to yourself to somebody you care about, you would probably, in my case at least, I'll go with my case. In my case, my instinct when thinking about it from that perspective is to get very upset with the person saying that and to stand up for the person they're saying it to. And I am perfectly willing to get up and vocally tell them to knock it off. You don't treat somebody like that. It is a horrible way to talk to somebody. But I couldn't do it for myself until I really thought about it in that way. That moment where I can finally say, I wouldn't let somebody else talk to somebody I cared about that way. There should be absolutely no reason why I should let those fears and anxieties within myself talk to me that way. And so being able to kind of see it as somebody you would defend being attacked by somebody you wouldn't let get away with that, and then being able to turn that eye on yourself and look at the way you talk to yourself and defend yourself as if you were defending somebody you cared about. And you might be noticing right now when I say this that idea that you're defending yourself as if you were somebody you cared about. And the question should be in your mind, why don't I care about myself as much as I care about other people? Why won't I defend myself when I would defend somebody else from the same situation? And so this is sort of that opportunity to kind of stand up for yourself against yourself, because you are both halves of that equation. You are the bully and you are the bullied, and you're doing it to yourself. And so this one, the realization of that moment in and of itself is a powerful moment to think about. You can stand up for yourself against those negative thoughts that you are throwing at yourself. But it's also an interesting exercise to actually do it. So you take a piece of paper and you write down the things that are being said negatively to you, and when you have them written down, just the things you're saying, like, I'm no good at this. Defend yourself afterwards. You don't have to do it right now. Maybe do it at the end of the day. You build a list of the things you're saying against yourself, and then you build, at the end of the day, you look over them and you rebut them. You say whatever, you look at them and you see the things that are hollow, empty, petty things to say. And you point them out as being just petty, juvenile, nitpicky things. They have no real value. There's no real strength in them. There's no... And half the time you're going to find that the things that you say to yourself are not even true. They're things that can feel true when you're feeling them, but when you really look at them, they don't make any sense at all. They're just petty little angry moments. And so that's sort of the exercise for this time around. And I found it's really useful if you have to continue imagining somebody has said this to your little sibling, to your best friend, to your favorite cartoon character if you have to. If somebody talked about somebody you cared about that way, what would you say to just tear apart their belittlements? Just rip it up so that it's clear that it isn't true. It isn't. They are not worthless. They are not something deserving to be torn down. These things don't apply to that person you care about. And then once you've really torn apart those arguments as if you're defending somebody you care about, then you can apply them to yourself, tell them to yourself, and really think about them as something, you can say the next time you have that thought enter your head, like, I'm no good at this. And you say, that's not true. I've improved over the last year, and the things I'm doing are more than most people do in those fields. I'm putting the effort forward every day, and I'm getting better, and I'm not the worst person at this position. I'm not failing at this. Getting better at something is a sign of strength and success. And so, you can do that kind of thing, and just, if you would say that to defend your friend, say it for yourself the next time your mind throws that same old argument back at you. Alright, so hopefully that's a technique that can work for you a little bit there, and I'll see you for the next episode, which is the last of this batch that all work well together. So I'll see you then.